So I want you to take a comfortable seat, and y'all know some way that your spine is nice and long. And you could put your hands on your body if that feels good. You might even close your eyes. Take a couple of long, smooth breaths. And just notice how you're feeling today. Notice, like, is your mind settled? Are you able to focus and sit still? Are you, thinking about other things? How does your body feel? And then thinking about how you want to feel when we're done with our practice today. And then setting your intention around that. And so, welcome. So when you're done with that, I want you to just, in your comfortable seat, and if you're not comfortable cross-legged, it's okay to have, your legs stretched out. It's even okay to be in a chair, right? Whatever is most comfortable. I want you to just lift your shoulders carefully up towards your ears and let them go. So inhale, lift them up. Exhale, let them go. Just moving with your breath and noticing as you do that, how it feels throughout your body. And when you feel complete with that, then I want you to do one shoulder at a time. Inhale it up and exhale, slide it down the back body. So right now we're just exploring and seeing how it feels to move, and notice as you're rolling, do you feel something through your torso? And then again, we're just alternating sides. And when you feel complete with that, you're going to pause for a moment. And then I want you to bring your chin. So notice when you do this, right, you want to keep your shoulders over your hips and gently take the chin towards the chest. So inhale is head in neutral position, exhale, chin towards the chest. Just moving with your breath and noticing how that feels, because of course we can't work on the shoulders without working on the head and neck too. Now, again, as you start to feel complete, you're going to pause for a moment and then start to bring your head down towards the left shoulder. And this time we're going to keep it here. And you might want to run your fingers down the side of your neck, or just let the weight of your head give you a nice little stretch over to that side. And with your head down, I want you to take your hand. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. I want you to take your hand. So your head is to the left. You want to take your right hand back and walk it away from your body behind you. And you're going to keep breathing, and you're just noticing how that feels as you walk the fingers away. And you're not going to go too far. You're going to go to a place where there's slight sensation. And breathe, keep breathing. Notice how it feels as you're there. And then we're going to walk the hand down to your side, and on the inhale, lift your head up. And then with the exhale, take your head down towards the right shoulder. And again, you can use your fingers on the outside of the neck, or just let the weight of the head help to stretch that side. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk that left hand behind us and keep it there, but we keep breathing, and you're noticing any sensation that you feel, what's going on in your breath, in your body. And when you start to feel complete, walking that hand to your side, and then on the inhale, lifting up your head. Now, one more time, I want you to inhale those shoulders up, and this time slide them down the back body as you exhale. And pausing, we're going to keep the left hand on the ground, take the right arm up. You're going to keep your butt on the floor as you inhale and exhale up. Inhale, exhale. And if it doesn't work having your arm extended, it's okay to bend the elbow, and keep your hand on the back of the body. And you're just moving to the one side. We're not alternating. And your butt is stable on the floor, and you're moving with your breath in a way that feels good to you, right? You can bend and straighten the arm, you can keep the arm straight. It really depends, like if there's a lot of tension, you want to move in a way that there's as little sensation as possible so that that can soften over time. We're going to do it one more time. And when you come up, we'll place that right hand on the ground, pause for a moment, then take your left arm up. And again, with your breath, inhale over, exhale back to neutral. Straight arm, bent arm, combination. Just moving in a way that feels really wonderful in your body. And sometimes it's nice to switch it up because there is the sensation, at least in my body, is different if I change up how my arm position is. Okay, so we're going to do one more on this side. And when you come up, we're going to place that hand down. And then in your seated position, you can have your hands on the floor or the legs. You're going to inhale the chest forward and exhale round the back. So your butt stays on the floor and your pelvis is moving because it's connected to the spine, right? And so inhale, chest forward, exhale, round the back. And again, we're looking for how it feels in our body as we're moving and making the movement as enjoyable as possible. All right. Now, after your next exhale, we'll come to our neutral position. And then I want you to find your tennis balls if you have some. And I just happen to have a wall right behind me. So I can do this seated, right? So if you have a wall right there, you can do it this way. There's less sensation. So if you're really tender, doing it against a wall is really nice. Or you can lay down on the ground, carefully get yourself onto your back body, place the tennis balls at the top of your shoulders, and then start to move your body up. But you're going to keep the tennis balls off of your spine. So you stay where there's muscle. So you're on either side of your vertebrae. And then you might remain static, like not moving, or you might move your body up and down or side to side and start to work the tennis balls down the sides of your spine. But you want to stay where there's structure so you don't go below the rib cage. And since the focus is the shoulders, you might go down as far as the shoulder blades. And you're just exploring, and if it's too much, you can use one tennis ball and go against the wall, or like I said, seated against the wall, you can use both tennis balls. Now, after a little bit, whenever you're ready, you might start to move through your arms. So you could inhale the arms up, exhale them back down. You can take them out like snow angels. Or you could bring your elbows, forearms together in front of your body and back down to the ground. And if you're not sure which movement would serve you the best, you're going to explore and try those different ones, you know. So it might be that as you start to take your arms up, it hurts, and so you don't go up as far. But just explore a little bit and see. And you can also do one arm at a time with the movements, or you can do them simultaneously. So just exploring. Noticing how you feel, and you're still breathing. And you might come to a place where you stop moving and just allow your body to settle. So you just rest here with your breath, letting your body soften around the tennis balls. And we're going to stop this in about 30 seconds or so. So any other movements or resting into the tennis balls that you want to do, go ahead and do that. And if you feel, well, whenever you feel like you've had enough, you're going to take those tennis balls out and just set them to the side. We're going to stay on our backs for a little bit with our knees bent. And then carefully, whenever you're ready, you're going to lift up one knee at a time towards your body. And so your body is settled onto the floor. You're holding onto your knees. And we're going to start by inhaling the knees away, exhaling, taking the knees in towards your chest. So a nice little gentle movement with your breath. You're not straightening out the legs. You're not creating that isometric sensation by pressing your hands into your thighs. You're just gently moving, noticing how it feels in the low back and the pelvis as you're doing this movement. Now, eventually, we're going to come to a place where we stop and place the right foot down on the ground. And then I want you to place your hands on the front of the left knee. And you're just going to let the weight of the hands bring your knee in towards your body. So you're not necessarily pulling, you're just letting the weight of the hands bring the knee towards the body. And you're breathing and you're noticing how it feels in your body as you do this. Seeing if you can, for a few moments, just settle in. Just relax your body, relax your leg, let the weight of the arms do the work here. Now, probably, after the next exhale or so, you might feel complete and place that foot down on the ground. Then we're going to bring up your other knee. And again, stack your hands or interlace your fingers on the front of the knee and just let yourself breathe and be and notice how it feels to have the weight of your hands bringing the knee towards your body. Now, this time, as we get ready to complete this side, we're going to bring in the other knee. And your hands are placed on the front of your knees. Your head is relaxed on the ground. We're going to inhale, and you're going to bring your thighs perpendicular to the ground. Head is on the floor. Exhale, bring the head and knees towards one another. And for some of us, lifting the head like this doesn't feel that wonderful. And so then you might just move your knees, but you're moving with your breath. Inhale, knees away, head down. Exhale, moving in towards the center. Or you're resting your head on the ground and just moving the legs. Again, noticing what's happening in your low back. And now your upper back as well, and your neck. Can you keep the muscles in your face soft as you're doing this movement? Now, eventually, let's see, next time we come to the ground, you're going to pause for a moment, carefully place your feet on the floor. And then we're going to walk the feet. I'm turning so that you're going to walk your feet as wide as your mat. And then you're going to bring in one knee to the center at a time. So one knee points up towards the sky. The other knee comes in towards the center. You're going to lift it back up and then take the other knee down. So we're not windshield wipering, moving both knees at the same time. Moving with your breath. One knee in towards the center. It comes back up. The other knee in towards the center. And you're just noticing, like, I like doing this one at a time so you can really feel what's happening in each of your hips and legs as you're moving. Now, next time you finish the second side, we're going to walk the feet in towards one another. And if you have one, you're going to take a block. At home, you could, if you don't have a block, you could use a throw pillow or a folded towel, but just something that you can press in towards the center with your knees. And find a comfortable spot, so, on the knees or the thighs or a combination. And what we're going to do here is you're just going to inhale, relax, Exhale, press in towards the center. So on the video, you probably won't, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, right? But the movement is just pressing in towards the center with your knees. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press in towards the center. And it actually is a little bit of work, as you're probably noticing. Now, next time you inhale and relax, we're going to pause for a moment and take our arms down to the sides. And you're going to bend at the elbow and make little fists, and then walk your feet in so that they're maybe, 4 to 6 inches from your buttocks, if that's, wherever it's comfortable. Now the inhale, you're going to press down with your elbows and your feet and keep your face pointing towards the ceiling and lift up your hips and your chest. Exhale, come down to the ground. Inhale, lift up, press with those elbows, press with your feet. Exhale, down to the ground. Just moving with your breath, noticing how it feels. And with the block, it helps us to have something to press against to, help stabilize the hips. But it also doesn't allow us to come up as high as if we didn't have that block there. Okay, we're going to do one more. And when you come down, relax for a moment, and then very carefully, you're going to lift your legs up and possibly have your lower legs parallel with the floor and your feet flexed. And we're going to take the arms out to the sides. They could be straight, or I sometimes like to do like cactus arm, where my elbows are bent. And then from here, what I want you to do, these are going to be tiny movements. You're going to inhale, center, exhale, take your knees to one side, inhale back to the center, and exhale to the other side. And I'm talking about moving, 2 to 4 inches. So we're not trying to get the knees toward the hand or toward the floor, just a tiny movement with your breath, side to side. And you're noticing how it feels in the back of the pelvis, and the low back, as you're moving with your breath. And you're still holding on to that block, pressing in towards the center. And we're going to do each side one more time, because I know it's like everything's a lot of work today, right? And when you get back to the center, we're going to take the block out and then place your feet on the floor one at a time. And this time, having your knees and ankles close to one another. Again, arms out to the side, however it's comfortable. We're going to inhale to the center and start to take the knees over to the side. Now, if it feels good, you could add in the head as well, turning in the opposite direction of the knees. Inhale, center, exhale, gently twist. And here you come down as far as it feels comfortable, right? As far as you want to without forcing anything. Inhale, center, exhale, turn. And we're not lifting the head if you're turning it, you're just letting it stay heavy on the ground. One more time on each side. And when you come back to the center, one more thing I want to do down here. So we're going to reach for your right knee and just start to make some circles with that knee. You can use your hand to guide or not. And then a couple times in each direction, or a few, depending on how quickly you're moving. And we're going to take that foot down to the ground. Second side, lift up the knee. And again, a couple of circles, guided by your hand or not. Going a few times in each direction. You're still breathing. And again, when you're done, you're going to place that foot on the floor. We're going to roll over to the side and use your hands to help you sit on up. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Now, seated on the floor, you could have a blanket under the back of your pelvis if that feels good. We're going to start with your knees together and ankles together, and you're sitting up, your hands are on the ground. And then the inhale, you're going to take your arms up and take your knees out to the side. Exhale, knees together, hands down. So just moving with your breath, no rush. Inhale, arms up, knees open. Exhale, hands down, knees together. Remember, no rush. Noticing how it feels. I do like to connect my hands up top, but you don't have to do that. You're doing what feels good in your body. One more time. And when we exhale the arms down, I want you to find your tennis balls. And then you're going to keep your butt on the ground. We're going to take the tennis balls to the back body. So your butt is on the ground, you're not sitting on the balls, you're going to lean back into the balls, take your hands onto the ground, arms bent or straight, some of you might come down further, and then gently move your knees side to side. So you're still breathing, moving with your breath, noticing how it feels in the low back. You could move the tennis balls in or out if that sounds inviting, or you can keep them in the same spot. And again, as you start to feel done with this, we'll lean up, take those tennis balls out, put them in a safe place because we're not going to use them for a little bit. And from here, we are going to make our way to standing. And if you like to use blocks in a lunge, you're going to have them towards the front of your mat. And at first, before we use those blocks, if you're using them, you're just going to have your hands on your thighs, feet are about hip width apart. Inhale, body up. Exhale, slide halfway down. Inhale up, exhale halfway down. If it sounds inviting in your body, you can start to come a little deeper into your forward bend. So you're just exploring what feels good today. Now, eventually, I'm going to invite you to come all the way down into your forward bend, and you can have the knees bent here. And this time we're going to move halfway up and then exhale in towards our legs. Inhale halfway up, exhale in towards your legs, keeping those hands connected to your legs. Now, from our forward bend, we're going to take our hands to the floor or onto the blocks, and we're going to step back with the right foot. So we're in a high lunge, front knee over the ankle, feet hip width apart, and hands, like I said, on the blocks or the floor. Now from here, I want you to reach, we're up on the back toes, but I want you to reach your heel towards the ground. And then we're gonna bend that right knee and straighten it. So you're just bending the knee, not touching down to the ground, and straightening the leg. And noticing how it feels as you do that. Now, next time your leg is straight, we're going to find our balance, isometrically pull the legs towards one another and place your hands onto your thigh or up towards the sky, whatever feels better today. And just find your focus and your balance. Now from here, we're going to all take our arms to whatever level feels good towards the sky. Inhale with the arms up. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Inhale, both arms up, left arm forward. Opposite side, because I can't remember what I said. And you're just going to alternate which arm is forward and which arm is back. Now, if balance is an issue today, you're welcome to take that back foot down onto the ground. One more time. And then when your arms come up, we're going to place them back down on the ground. Step that back foot forward. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Inhale all the way up. Roll through your shoulders for just a couple of breaths. Notice how you're feeling. Then on an exhale, we'll come back towards the ground. Hands on the block or the floor. We're going to step back with your foot, I think it is this time. And again, reach your heel towards the ground. And you're just breathing, noticing what's happening in your body. And then we're going to bend that back knee and lift it up. Moving with your breath. And remember, we're not bringing the knee to the ground. We're just bending through the knee and then straightening the leg and reaching the heel towards the ground. Now, next time your leg is straight, again, you're going to find your balance. Isometrically pull the legs towards one another. Bring your hands up onto your thigh. And then possibly stretch them up towards the sky. So you're breathing, you're focused, noticing all the wonderful sensations in your body. And then we're going to start to move the arms with the breath. So inhale, arms towards the sky. Exhale, one arm forward, one arm back. And then alternate sides. Moving with your breath. And again, if balance is an issue, you could stand next to a wall like me, or you can bring that back heel towards the ground. And this is our last time. So when your hands come up towards the sky on the inhale, we're going to exhale the hands towards the ground. This time, instead of standing up, you'll probably want to have your hands on the floor and not on blocks. We're going to step back with both feet. So now you're in a plank. You could gently have your knees on the ground. We're going to inhale here and exhale back. Bend your knees as you come back into your down dog. Or if your knees are on the ground, you're going to come into child's pose. So you're moving with your breath. Noticing how it feels in your body as you're moving back and forth. And then after your next exhale, we're going to hop or walk your feet forward into your forward bend. Bring those hands onto the legs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale a little bit more deeply, and then we're going to inhale, come all the way up. So once you're up and standing, check in. How's the breath moving? How's your heart rate, your body temperature? You're going to find a tennis ball, and we're going to roll our feet, because I can't make it through a day without doing this at least a few times. And you're noticing how your feet feel. And then switch feet. So I hope you're all doing okay. Now, as we start to complete the second foot, I want to do a little bit of balancing. And today I thought we might, actually before we go on, if you have two tennis balls, I want you to have them on your mat about hip width apart. And we're going to place the padded part of the foot. So your heel is on the ground. And you're going to place the padded part of both feet onto the tennis ball. So the toes are lifted up. And then the tennis ball is just under, they're located under where your toes are. Now from here, you're going to inhale, straight legs, exhale, bend. So you're not going into like a deep chair or a squat. You're just inhaling, straight legs, exhaling, bending. For most of us, we'll get a stretch up the Achilles, the soleus, the calves. And then we'll pause, and we're going to take the tennis balls under the heels. And again, feet are about hip width apart. And you're going to try to smush the tennis balls a little bit with your heels. There's a little bit of yellow sticking out behind your heels. Hands on the thighs. Inhale, body up, exhale, bend. Most of us can bend more deeply when the tennis balls are in the back, but I don't want you to go super deep unless that's what you really want to do today. Inhale up, exhale down. All right. Now, next time we inhale up, we're going to get rid of one of the tennis balls. Feel your feet on the ground for a moment. And this next piece, you can do it without the tennis ball. You could just have your foot flat on the ground if you choose. You're going to press the tennis ball with your heel and then take the 4 points of your foot, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, both sides of the heel towards the ground. And what I want you to do, your hands, you can hold on to a chair or a wall or a couch. We're going to just lift the left knee up. So the tennis ball's under the right heel, and you're just going to lift that leg up. Find your balance, find your focus. And then we're going to open it out to the side, possibly. And then come back to the center, and maybe one more time out to the side. And back to the center, and then that foot comes down. Carefully step off of your tennis ball if you're using one. Then take your hands onto your thighs. Inhale up, exhale back halfway down with your knees bent. Just a few times to come back to our center. Connect with your breath. And next time you come up, we're going to put that tennis ball under your left heel. And again, ground down through that foot, really rooting into the earth. Little yellow sticking out behind your heel, the 4 points of the foot. Find your balance, however you want to put your hands, and then very carefully lift up your right knee. And you're going to breathe and hold that leg up. And then possibly you're going to open that knee out to the side and back to the center. You're breathing, you're focused, open it out to the center again. You're going to come back with the knee pointing forward, place that foot on the ground. And then this time, instead of coming into a forward bend, I want you to walk your feet maybe as wide as your mat. We're going to have the hands on the outside of the legs. Inhale, body up, exhale, slide down. Inhale up and do the second side. And then if you want to, you can start to bring the outside elbow up as you're sliding down. And then if the next step, if you choose, is to extend that arm overhead. But remember, you're only changing it if it feels good in your body. The last thing, if you want to add on, is looking towards that extended arm. We're going to do each side one more time. And when you're back at neutral, your feet are still a little bit wide. Slight bend in the knees. And you're going to inhale, body up, exhale all the way down. And then bring your hands to the floor or the block. We're going to walk the hands over to the right side, shift your hips over to the left. If you're using a block, you can take the block with you. And if you're higher up, you can keep your hands on your legs as you're moving side to side. But you're moving with your breath and you're shifting your hips as you take to the opposite side of where your hands are. Now, once you get to your second side, you're going to come through the center, and then we're going to walk our feet out. So you might need to change your direction on your mat. And again, your hands are on the floor or on a block. And now what I want you to do is walk your hand over to the left, bend that knee over the foot. Walk through the center. And then do the second side. And you're going to go back and forth a couple of times. And then if it feels good, maybe on your third time when you get over there, I want you to hold the position, but you're going to keep breathing. So your hands are over to the side, your knees bent over your foot. And then when you feel done with that, you're going to come through the center, go to the right side, and again, hold for a breath or two. And then we'll come through the center. Now we're going to keep the right hand on the ground under your shoulder. I have it towards the center of my body. And then my eyes are going to be on my left hand as I start to reach it up towards the sky. And you're going to come to whatever place feels good. We're going to stay on the same side. Inhale, take that arm up, eyes tracking the hand. Exhale, back towards the floor. And you're only coming up as far as it feels okay in your shoulder. We're going to do it one more time. And when you come down this time, we're going to take the left hand to center. Again, eyes on your right hand. You know, and if it only feels good to come up to shoulder height, that's what you're going to do. You're going to move as far as it feels comfortable in your body, eyes following that hand. Moving with your breath, inhale is up, exhale is back down towards the floor. We have one more time. And the last thing I want to do, well, here, you're going to bend your knees slightly, take your hands onto your thighs and bring yourself up. If you need to take a break and bring your feet closer together for a moment, feel free to do that. The last thing I want to do in this position is to bring your arms out. Inhale is going to be here. Exhale, you're going to take your right hand towards your left thigh and start to slide down. Eyes on your left hand if possible. And we're going to hold this position for just a breath. If it doesn't feel good to extend that left hand, it could be on your hip. And then while you're here, I want you to make your body long. And you're breathing and noticing sensations. You could have slight bends in your knees. Your left hand is extended or on the hip. Your head is where it's comfortable. If it's possible, you're looking up towards the ceiling or your hand. Now, next exhale. You're going to bring your body so it's pointing towards your foot, and then inhale, slide on up. Extend those arms out to the sides. Inhale is here. Exhale. Left hand comes to the right hip. You start to turn, look towards that right hand, and exhale as you slide down. And again, once you're in this position, you're deciding, is my arm extended? Is my head looking towards that hand? Is my hand on my hip? Then you're going to lengthen your body so your body's long. And your hand doesn't have to be on your ankle. You know, for some of you, it might be on your knee or the outside of your calf. You're not putting pressure with that hand. And you're still breathing. And again, next time you exhale, we're going to turn the body towards the foot. And then inhale, slide on up. And then we're going to step those feet together. And for some of us, it might have been a long time to have those legs wide. But one last time, you're going to have your feet about hip width apart. We're going to inhale up. We're going to exhale, slide down towards a forward bend. And then you're going to come into a little squat. Right? So here, some of you might want to be against the wall. You might want to have your feet wider, toes turned out. You could sit into a chair, onto a block. We're going to take the hands towards the forehead or the heart center. shoulders inside the knees as you round the back and take your chin towards your chest. And then as you take a couple of breaths here, my hope is that as you're in this position and you're breathing, you'll get a nice little massage from your breath in the upper back body. Now, whenever you feel complete in your squat, you're going to come down to the ground. Some of you might like to have a blanket under your back body. We're going to extend the legs. Now, before we do what I want, the pose we're going to do, what I want you to do is just open your feet and bring them back together. So you're just opening the feet, and as you open the feet, hopefully the legs turn with them, and then you bring them back to center. So you're opening your feet, bringing them back to center. I'm using my hands because I realize my feet aren't showing up that well on the video. And next time your feet come to the center, we're going to bring in your right knee. Now your foot and your leg are about hip width apart. This knee is pointing up towards the sky. So if you find your knee dropping out, walk your foot wider. And then we're going to take the right hand behind us. Inhale, reach that left arm up. Exhale, you're going to take your hand and wrap it around the knee and start to bring your belly towards that inner thigh. Some of you might want to take the elbow to the outside of the knee as you're twisting. Now, as you're here, we're trying to twist the upper part of the body, right? Because there's more flexibility there than in the lower part of the spine. And you're using your hand or your elbow to help keep your knee pointing towards the sky. You're making sure that you can still breathe easily. If it's comfortable, you might start to pivot your head towards that back shoulder. Then on an inhale, let's lengthen the spine. Exhale, come forward. We're going to keep that knee pointing towards the sky. You're going to take your left hand onto the ground. We're going to reach the right arm up this time. Inhale is here. Exhale, you're going to bring your right hand wherever it comes to on your leg. And then possibly the left arm is going to join in, and you're going to reach your head and your body towards the knee. Now from here, if it sounds, you can stay here, or you can bring that right tricep towards your shin, right? And then bend the elbow, take your hand so your palm is facing up behind you, and then wrap your right hand around. And if your hands don't come together, you can put a sock or a strap in between, or you can just have your hands reaching towards one another, and then you're going to, again, reach your head and your body towards your left leg. This is actually one of my favorite stretches for the shoulders, although you may be feeling it in other parts of your body. Now, again, when you start to feel like you've had enough, you're going to release your hands. Inhale, we're going to stretch both arms up overhead and straighten out the right leg. Exhale, you're going to come down over your legs. Inhale up, exhale down. And also another option would be to slide your hands up and down your legs if it doesn't feel good, to keep them in line with your body. Now, next time you come up, you're still breathing, right? So check in. We're going to bend the left knee and bring that foot in. And again, you want your knee pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take that left hand onto the ground. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, bring your belly towards the inner thigh. And again, some of you may want to take that right elbow on the outside of the knee. And then as you're here, you're finding some comfort in this twist. Like, what can you do to get comfortable with your upper body twisted in this direction? And then do you want to bring your vision, your head towards that back shoulder? And you're still breathing, noticing all the wonderful sensations in your body. On one of these inhales, we're going to lengthen the body. Exhale, come back towards the center. Keep that knee bent. Right hand on the ground. Left arm reaches towards the ceiling. Whenever you're going to exhale, you're going to come down towards that right foot. And then possibly the left hand is going to join, or the right hand is going to join in, and you're going to reach your head and your body towards that leg. And you're still breathing. And remember, your hands are wherever they come to, like your knee, your calf, your foot. Now, you could stay here, or if you want to do our bound position, you're going to take the tricep to the shin, the left tricep to the left shin, bend your elbow, turn the palm up, possibly reach your right hand around. Maybe your hands connect, maybe there's a strap there, and then bring your body and your head towards the right leg. And you're still breathing. Now again, whenever you're ready, it could be now, it could be in 2 breaths. You're going to release your hands, gently lift your body up. This time, instead of straightening both legs, we're going to bend both knees, and you're going to have them wide, maybe even wider than your hips. Hands to the inside of your legs. You're going to slide down and hold on to your ankles, your shins, your feet. Bring your chin towards your chest. So it's a wide bent knee, forward bend, chin towards the chest, nice roundedness in your back body. Only coming to a place that feels good. And then we're going to inhale up. And from here, we are going to make our way onto our back bodies. And what I'd like you to have, if you have them available to you, would be a block and a strap. And you also may want to put on socks if you took them off to stand up. And so you're going to bring yourself onto your back body carefully. And then we're going to find our strap at first. And keeping your left foot on the ground, we're going to take the strap on the padded part of the right foot. And your leg is, whatever angle is natural for you, but pointing up towards the sky. Our inhale is going to be here. Exhale, you're going to bend the elbows and bring that leg towards your body. Inhale, back to perpendicular. Exhale, towards your body. We're just going to do this a few times. And then what I want you to do is bend your right knee towards your armpit, and you're going to walk your hands down the strap. Some of you might hold on to your foot, so it's like a half happy baby. And then you can keep that left foot on the ground, or you can start to straighten it out. It really depends where your body wants to go today. And you're still breathing and softening. And we're going to take the strap off, carefully place that foot onto the ground. And then we're going to bring the strap around the padded part of the left foot. Again, bringing it, towards the ceiling, maybe perpendicular to the ground. One hand on either strap. Inhale is here. Exhale towards your body. Moving with your breath. Just doing it a few times. And next time you're perpendicular, we're going to bend that left knee towards your armpit, walk your hands down the strap, half happy baby, still breathing. And if you'd like to stay here or start to straighten the right leg, you're just going to ask yourself, or maybe try it out and see what feels good. Or you might keep it bent. We're still breathing. And whenever you start to feel complete, we're going to take that strap off. And then gently place that foot on the ground. This is where we're going to use our block. And again, at home, you can use a folded blanket, a little pillow, towel, or block. And you're going to lift up your pelvis and place that block under your pelvis so you're not at all on your vertebrae. And if it doesn't feel good to do this, you can do what we're going to do without the block. We're going to take one leg at a time up towards the sky. And we're going to point and flex the feet. And then we're going to just breathe here for a little bit. Now, if you decide you want to move your legs out into a wide angle or do like little splits, you can explore doing like that, or you can just stay in this position and breathe. Seeing if you can soften your body, let your hips and legs be heavy, let your head be heavy. You might take your shoulders towards the ground a little bit and open up your chest. You're exploring what feels good in this moment as you breathe and soften. If you practice shoulder stand and wanted to do that instead of this right now, you could do that. But since we're kind of settling in, and this is much more relaxing, I thought we would do it this way. But if you wanted to add it in, this is where you could. Now from here, when you feel complete, we're going to bend the knees, place the feet on the floor one at a time, lift up your hips, take out what's underneath your low back. And then you can have your legs straight or knees bent here. I want you to bring your hands onto your body. And just check in for a moment. I wanted to do one last thing with our shoulders. Just need to check on our time here. And so what I want you to do, again, if it feels good, we're going to take elbows, forearms, palms towards one another. It doesn't matter if they connect. They do connect, you're pushing in towards the center. And then you're going to reach your fingertips over your head. Reaching overhead. Pausing when your arms are in front of your face. We're going to open out to the sides. Inhale, exhale, come back to the center. Now, when you start to feel complete with that, you're going to pause for a moment and ask yourself if you need anything before you move into Shavasana. And then in your own time, you're going to do whatever your body still needs, and then you're going to set yourself up for Shavasana. You could have some support under your knees. You can have legs up the wall. Make sure that you're nice and warm. So use a blanket, put on a sweatshirt, whatever you have close by. But I invite you to get yourself as comfortable as you can be. And as you start to settle into Shavasana, check in with your body. Is there Is there anything that you could do to make yourself just a little bit more comfortable here? And if so, go ahead and do that. Shri Krishna Bhagisha Yatish Barabhyam Samprapta Chakran Kana Pashasaram Shri Nud Narangendra Yatau Samarpita Swam Shri Krishna Maryam Guru Vayami De Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Kurtodayam Yogacharyam Krishna Maryam Guruvayamaham bhaje Krishna Suri Daya Patram Yana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathayam Vandeham
Vandeham
Yoga
Yoga Deshikam Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
So, welcome back, everybody. um, I invite you to take a moment to notice how you're feeling and what's going on in your body, and then in your own time, starting to make those slow, thoughtful movements and possibly coming up to a seated position, comfortable seated position, of course, and giving yourself a little bit of time. After we were working with the straps, I was like, oh, we need to do a little hand work. So once you're in your seated position, I just want you to interlace your fingers and roll through your wrists a couple times in each direction. And then we're going to take one wrist up, one wrist down. I know this is challenging for some of us. And then switch sides. And then shake out your hands, and we're going to take the right arm forward like you're saying stop, hands on other hand on your hand, and pull your hand and your fingers towards your body. And then we're going to turn the fingers down. Again, fingers are on the top of your hand now, pushing the hand towards your body. And then I want you to roll through your thumb a couple times in each direction. We're going to take that thumb towards your wrist, doesn't matter how close it gets, and then towards the forearm. So you're just moving through your thumb. You can hold it or you can move back and forth. And then we're going to say stop with your left hand, again, pulling that hand and the fingers towards your body. Fingers down. Rolling through your thumb. And then a couple times in each direction. And then thumb towards the wrist and thumb towards the forearm. Just going back and forth. And then shaking out your hands. I suggest doing that, well, as often as you think of it, you know. So thank you all for being here, and thank you to my teachers past and present, and I acknowledge the lands that I live and work upon. I know we didn't do a breathing or a focus practice, but I really felt like it was important to stretch the hands. And if you'd like to join me in an Om, I invite you to take a nice big breath. Namaste.
Namaste.